dreadful one.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the United Hour. I am your host tonight, Devin, and with me we got a special panel. With me, I have the man Mark. I've got Cret, I've got Kess, and I've got Greg B. Gentlemen, good evening. How are you today?
Evening. Everything cool on my end.
Everything blessed, man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to our finals tomorrow.
You calling that a final tomorrow?
Well, I hope Miss Monk bless tomorrow.
So, gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the show tonight. And, of course, one of the main topics right now you're hearing, Destination United. United seems like the hot spot to be this summer. We're hearing linked to a whole bunch of different names right now. So, you want to start with we can call him the man of the hour for now, Mason Mount.
Yeah, might as well. You see hot topic right now?
You've been waiting to hear this one. So, for those of you who are not aware, for those who are not aware, there were reports going out today that United could be linked with Mason Mount. I believe he only has 1 year left on contract coming up. So it's a potential that United could look for him as an alternative if certain other midfielders don't come through. And welcome back, Greg B. Good evening.
Good evening. Not sure what took place just now. I think the internet might be giving a better trouble.
Okay.
That might maybe that rocket from NCSO knocked out your current. I don't know. It could be from earlier today. Anyway. Anyway, yes. Go ahead. Talk to us now. What are your thoughts on Mason Mount potentially to United?
All right. So, the report? Oh,
Yeah, Cass is on you.
all right. The reports. When the report started circulating, I ignored it. Then when Fabrizio mentioned it, my eyebrow kind of raised and say, okay. But when David Ornstein, he is like the English Fabrizio, or even better sometimes, right? I say, okay, I had a reading to this, and when I read into it, I mean, I support Ten Hag 100. So far, everybody Ten Hag has brought in has hit the mark. So if Ten Hag sees something in Mount, then I for it, right? But you had to understand what role Mason Mount is going to play. He's not here to replace Bruno, right? He is going to, how to put it? He will be a replacement for Ericsson when Ericsson like he will be like a squad player, right? Because there are certain games that Ericsson cannot play. He will get run over in midfield, right? Man City and Liverpool is prime example, right? Mason Mount is more mobile and he is more, how to put it? He's more physical. He can take the physicality and give the physicality, right? He's not my go-to choice, but like I say, if the manager wants him, I am all for it because you're seeing what this manager can do with players who we would have regularly X'd out. Wan-Bissaka, prime example, right? Mount had one bad season in a terrible Chelsea. I shouldn't say that terrible Chelsea side is that side littered with stars. It's just not cohesive, right? But for the price that Chelsea won, one bad season.
I can't remember.
He just won. The man was a starting attacking midfielder in a Champions League winning Chelsea.
Yes,
And after that,
Timo Werner and Kai Havertz.
after that, I don't know what happened.
Well, don't worry.
I said that Chelsea side wrote the look of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz the most times.
Let me just do a little bit right now. Everybody will get their chance to speak, so I am letting Kes get his chance right now. Good evening to the late joiners. Good evening to Arun. Good evening as well to Brian. Late as usual. West Indian people time. I see you guys are on. Good evening.
Right. I all for it if the manager wants him, because really and truly the manager wants him. But I have a thing about the price. He is not worth the price. But if the manager wants him, go for it.
So before we move on, I want to go through some of the comments right now. Good afternoon to Mr. Martin Phillip. Always usually the first or second person to comment, no matter what. Every show religiously. Good evening to Courtney, saying afternoon. Looks like Courtney is not a fan of Mason Mount. Saying not for 55 million. Good evening to We Outside TT. We Outside TT saying we don't want no Chelsea rejects. Mark, I will leave it to you now. What are your thoughts on Mason Mount potentially coming to United this summer?
Well, I'm not really a big fan of Mason Mount. But I've said previously, if that is who the manager wants, I will support who the manager wants. The price might be a bit, exuberant for, as a man say in the comments, a reject. But then again, he's English. So all these English players and them that come with a hefty price are realizing. You understand? But if he come in to play the role that was highlighted previously, I have no problem with that, because it have games Eric really can't play and shoot. You understand? So if he understand the role and function and come and operate in his role and function, I have no problem with that. Once the manager wants him, but I'm not a big fan of the player. There's a mere fact that is Chelsea coming from. He could have come from anywhere else. But it's Chelsea coming from, so I'm not really a fan of no Chelsea player. None. It could be who. But if the manager wants the dude, and the dude could come and perform.
That's even one matter when we got him.
I didn't like him really. But because he has a humble soul, I accept one matter. But any other, nah. Nah. I think, but once Mount come and operate, and then come with the blighty heaviness, I have no problem with that. We had to carry him up Mount St. Benedict. We had to carry Mount up on the Mount. You understand? Before he play a game, we had to carry Mount up on the Mount and mount him. You understand? Well, if the manager went, not my cup of tea, not my first choice. Yeah.
Greg,
You know my first choice, but
Greg, talk to us now. What are your thoughts on Mason Mount potentially?
People are going to probably think I should be cancelled for what I'm about to say. The guy is a white Jesse Lingard.
oh Jesus Christ!
I'm sorry.
Really?
Dude does not impress me. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Jesse Lingard in most ways, but he has so many similarities to him. It's like 50 million for that. That's just how I feel about it. I apologize if I've offended anybody by my statement, but at the same time, there's nothing about Mason Mount that speaks to me and tells me he's worth 50 million.
You just didn't give your life to
That's
Christ,
just how I look at it. If he was like 20 million, or something like that, you see, that 50 million.
Passport player, he ain't in that.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
respectfully, I see no real issue here. I mean, good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Listen, there are so many people want to come to United. There's a list of players that wants to come to United. Right? If Mason Mount wants to come, well, guess what? He's a part of that list. But we as a club It is time that we stop with this. No, don't let's look for him there. Oh, let's go for him there. And we run down the name, the big name player, and the big name player literally lets us down. Right? We ran after we went and we bring the other goat, and the other goat turn into
I cry, baby.
Well, like we lost Brian there. So Arun, I wanted to bring you in earlier. What are your thoughts now, Mason Mount potentially to United this summer?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Gregory, and you know, I don't like Mason Mount at all. I think that he in that Chelsea team he never showed that he was a real game changer.
Standout player, yeah.
So I think that he should. I mean, if he's coming to United as a squad player, he'll definitely improve our bench. But he's not first team starting. So.
Yeah, so personally, like I was thinking the same thoughts along there. He's not there to get into the starting 11. It's there because we need squad depth. Keep in mind now, we are looking at potentially another 60-game season next season. It could be if we advance far in competitions. You're going to need depth. We saw what happened with especially our midfield, where our midfield was pretty much run thin this past season. We need to strengthen that in depth in numbers. We're going to have a number of key players leaving. There's a potential sale, so funds could come in that could allow for amortization of players, so you can get around fair play rules that way too. But now for another name that is popping up on people's radars, and this one should be a little bit more spicier of a debate. And this time, another Samba King to Manchester United. Samba King could also be Samba Diver, depending on who you speak to. You never know. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I am talking about Neymar.
All right, so
the talk. Before we go over this, the talk on this one right now is Neymar. It would not be a permanent transfer. It will be a one-season loan deal, and then I've heard conflicting reports now. Some are saying United would cover all the wages. Other reports are saying PSG will cover some of the wages right now. But gentlemen, Neymar to the Premier League, specifically to our beloved Manchester United. I will leave this one open to the panel right now. What are your thoughts about this one?
I love that.
Brian seems to be breaking up.
Brian.
Yeah, Brian. You're breaking up bad by Brian.
Are you all hearing me better now?
yeah,
A little better, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to answer that for you, you know. Right? Tell Neymar, Samba, Rolling King, stay in France. Right? You don't he's over.
Yeah, I'm saying that as a Manchester fan.
Right?
Yeah, I'm saying that as a Manchester fan or an Argentine fan.
Probably both.
Yeah, you know, I want to say something about Neymar. Right? So United needs to be careful.
We don't want that, man. Neymar is going to come. Neymar is
Brian, you're in and out with your signal right now, so I'm gonna off a little while. Get yourself somewhere somewhere permanently, and we'll go from there. All right.
Yeah. So I think I mean United needs to continue being careful of buying players who get injured every season. So Neymar is hasn't played an entire season for probably the last 5 or 6 years. So we need to be careful of that. You know, players who we have like that as well is Rafa Varane. I mean, he's a very good defender, but he gets injured regularly. Paul Pogba was another one that we never made a full season since we bought him. And Anthony Martial had a good first season, and since then it's been downhill. So we need to be very careful of buying players and bringing them here to play 10 games a season. So Neymar for me is totally out of the question.
Well, I agree with you. I'm a Brazilian fan, and I agree with you. Just because of the circus he does bring. Son, I just say we have to be careful of players who does be getting injured. And Neymar might play today, tomorrow he injured, and the day after you see him in Brazil in his sister's birthday party.
So before
I don't want that.
So I got to play devil's advocate on this one for a little bit. because I was somebody who was very big on the absolutely Neymar could not handle the Premier League at all, anything like that. To be fair, this year he was having an outstanding season for PSG. And this injury actually was from a bad tackle. That was not his fault. It was actually a legitimate injury this year. But before that, he was pretty much like the main guy for PSG, setting up Neymar a lot. Setting up Mbappe for a lot of goals. So take a look at the amount of assists that he had. And for me, yeah, it could be like, what are the thoughts? Like I said, it's not a permanent deal. It's only a season-long loan. So a stopgap.
Yeah.
I want to go back to this comment from Martin Phillip real quick. He is saying that this guy will be no different than Ronaldo.
I agree.
I agree.
His authority right now. Look at what he did to Ronaldo. So I'm pretty sure Neymar is already speaking to the fellow Brazilians at United right now, asking, and they're probably telling him, "Yeah, well, you can't do no tricks here. You can't do any of that here. This man's real trick."
Yeah. So Ten Hag will lose him on the bench. Up in his stand.
If it's true, if it's true he coming across United, I want to put something in that loan clause.
Yeah.
If he misses any game in the month of March, he pays back everything he made to United.
I agree with that.
When last this man was available in any match for any season, any team?
Yeah.
That is Istanbul de Mountain.
If I want an injury-prone player, I stick with Marshall.
Yeah.
No, I still wouldn't stick with Marshall.
Can I just say something really quick? Can I just say this? Anybody remembers how much Neymar's salary is?
Okay. Neymar's salary.
The guy being paid $750,000 a month.
Neymar's salary could feed a small villager.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why? And United want to cover the wages. We barely have enough money to buy players to reinforce the side, but we'll bring Neymar into the game all that money.
Oh.
And then to make matters was like Martin is saying, I'm kind of inclined to agree. This could be another Ronaldo saga all over again. Do we really need that on our hands?
Could do without that circus. Exactly. We could do without that.
We had this will basically just be like this will be Angel Di Maria 2.0.
Yeah.
That's how I look at the whole thing. The lack of availability, and then remember, Paris is a different place from Manchester. The nightlife might be a bit different. You know, Neymar's a kind of party boy himself when he's ready to. Next year he want to fly on the private jet and go back to Paris to go to a party and then come back to Manchester to train the next day.
Is you hear me now?
Yeah, we don't really need all of that. Any money that we spend from here on in has to be on a player that is going to be disciplined enough to understand that there are protocols to be followed, but has the quality to know that, hey, you can make a difference.
So
you don't just pick up everybody just because they're available.
I want to ask a question, right? James Maddison has shown interest to come to United. Why are we not pursuing that? Right?
That's a good question.
You know, it's very good. We're just speaking about somebody who does not have discipline issues, and you mentioned James Maddison.
No, but hold on. James Maddison is because of he and the manager had little conflicts with little issues. But when with Ten Hag has shown that he knows how to put a player in his place. Colin Gallagher wants to come to United. Why are we not pursuing him neither? Right? But Neymar, of all people, please. What Neymar coming to do? To roll on Old Trafford field? What he coming to do? Right? We have Neves. We were pursuing him. Are we not pursuing him anymore? I don't know. Right? We need goal scorers. That's what we need. We don't have goal scorers. Believe it or not, we don't have goal scorers. Right? We have fellas in the midfield who we hope will put the ball behind the net. Right? Sancho, I don't know what more again Sancho needs to do to get himself ready. Because he has been taking too long to settle in. Way too long. Okay? I mean, I think Casemiro has settled in well. I think Casemiro has realized that you can't play rough and Fred the tackle. You can't play mass and Fred powder, right? But at the end of the day, Neymar, what did Neymar do in the World Cup? Nothing. He did nothing for them in the World Cup. Okay.
I'd rather take a chance on Vinicius right now because the way how Real Madrid looking with him,
Exactly.
he may not be there.
Yeah.
He may not be there long ago. If you wanna get somebody who might be a proper Brazilian that will perform for you, I say take advantage of the whole Vinicius saga, put it up there and test the water by Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I am okay, right? I mean, we got we brought in this guy from Ajax, Anthony. Anthony, before the World Cup was scoring. As Anthony come back from the World Cup, is he there get injured or you beat and wait for 4 games? And now he owing because the 4 games passed and he scored. He's like, I said, I wait for 4 games now. Come on. We need goal scorers. Why are we not pursuing Harry Kane? Dybala wanted to come.
Actually, Brian, on that note, I was actually going to bring his name up next. So we could transition into Harry Kane now, and you can go on from there, Brian.
Yeah, is that Harry Kane needs to leave Tottenham. I don't care that's your boyhood club, that is decide that your mommy put you in a pram and say, kick the Tottenham ball. Rubbish, right? Football is trophies. Football is awards. Not well, I got the golden boot. Yeah, all right. Okay, whoop-de-doo, right? I mean, somebody needs, as I'm saying, someone needs to get Sir Alex involved here. And let's talk to man. Sir Alex has been able to get players to come who didn't want to come, right? But outside of that, you had Dybala.
Brian,
yes, I met Dybala, right?
Brian, I have 2 words for you.
Uh-huh.
Stockholm syndrome.
Well, so be it. It is what it is.
So, Brian, is it safe to say that you are Harry Kane over Victor Osimhen?
I will take Harry Kane over him, yes. I will. Because Harry Kane's work rate is not, he's not a standardized striker. He don't stand up and say, okay, pass the ball, I will score. He works with the ball. He works to get it and put it behind the net. He also is a leader on a field. So you do need leaders on a field too, right? Because outside of Bruno Fernandes, who is our leader on the field? Who? I ask the question 3rd time. Who? We don't have a leader on the field outside of Bruno Fernandes, right?
Casemiro.
Casemiro is not a leader on the field. Casemiro is forward.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Casemiro is not a leader on the field.
You remember? I forget what match it was where Bruno was real wasteful in the final third, and Casemiro had to pull him aside. I agree with you on that one, but I do want to bring
Casemiro might be as thing as Bruno takes and thing, but he's a silent leader.
Arun, Bruno Fernandes has created the most chances out of any player in the Premier League right now. We need a striker up top, a proven
that's
striker.
That's with them chances.
Do something with that.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts on Harry Kane coming in, Arun?
So my striker, my number one choice for any signing we do, is Harry Kane at the top. Because the biggest issue we've had this season is scoring goals. So at minimum, we need 2 strikers. I think go for Harry Kane. Harry Kane he's a proper finisher. He's a proper number 9. He links the play. He knows the Premiership. I don't see Harry Kane leaving. I don't see Harry Kane leaving England to go anywhere else to play football. And I don't see him going to Arsenal. I can't see him going to Chelsea. City is stacked. So the only other
and they have Haaland.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. The only other choice he has, whether he likes it or not, is to come to Old Trafford. I would believe that Harry Kane would definitely have dreamt of playing at Old Trafford as a boy in a United jersey.
All right, I'm glad you mentioned.
Fair with that, Harry Kane was pictured in an Arsenal top as a kid.
So because he came from there.
Yeah, because
he's
City,
an Arsenal youth player.
You see, you said City has Haaland, but City also has Alvarez to fall back on, right? True. We have nobody to fall back on. We don't.
No, this is nobody. This is what I was going to say. It's more than Harry Kane. We are going to get to know. It's 2 strikers, right? But the thing about this is, right? With Kane, and dealing with Daniel Levy, right?
Yeah.
That's
will
what
be
the problem
problems.
is.
That'll be the problem right there.
Yeah, but we've
So
dealt
I
with
just want to bring up
Daniel
up something right now. In an ideal world, this is just what I could see happening in my head. What do
Listen.
Spurs need? What do Spurs
So, yeah.
need?
All right.
Trophies.
Do Spurs not need a center back?
Let me guess. Harry for Harry, right?
Correct. Harry for Harry and a little extra cash on top.
Yes,
Or you could even do Harry for Harry and Dean Henderson. You never know.
Yeah, but we have to
all of that because he had a need a keeper too.
Yeah.
True. Because Lloris leaving, right? Lloris leaving in this.
Remember, we got
Lloris has said he's retiring from international football and club football.
The one thing that will speed up Harry Kane to United is Harry Kane putting in a transfer request because Daniel Levy is going to draw this out as long as possible. And Ten Hag openly stated that he wants any new signing before the preseason starts.
Yeah. Yep. So
because he wants to
we could potentially be speaking about coming up tomorrow. We are playing in our penultimate match of the season. We are playing at home to Chelsea, needing 1 point from our remaining 2 matches to guarantee our spot in the Champions League for next season. Gentlemen, Chelsea right now, how could I describe Chelsea? This will be an interesting one, but I think the best way to describe the season is like this.
That way I could have described them pathetic, disgusting, shit show. Did I carry on?
So, gentlemen,
yeah.
Chelsea tomorrow. Chelsea have not been in good form. Chelsea will not be in Europe next year. These men pretty much could be hit or miss. We are playing at home tomorrow. How are you feeling about tomorrow, gentlemen?
Let Chelsea come tomorrow and take the 3 and let her go the way. Yeah. Bring brothers to come and try to play for no point on us. Just come, take all the 3. We will with 3 points, or they go back to London and try and patch up the bridge or they break down and enjoy the rest of the season. Yeah.
As I said,
plain and simple.
In our chat, that the FA Cup side is going to roll out tomorrow, right? And hopefully beat Chelsea into oblivion, put the final nail in that coffin. Right, and then the game against Fulham, the French players who haven't gotten much games, they will have to try to prove that they belong in the FA Cup squad, right? But right now, I feel Mudryk and Enzo must be still looking for clauses in the contracts, right?
To leave.
Anybody seen this recently? Anybody seen the latest activity with Mudryk? He get put on blast on social media for making out a man in a gym.
Okay.
So for anybody who's not aware of what Greg B is speaking about, there's a man on social media that goes by the name of Joey Swole, and he basically calls out people for inappropriate gym etiquette behavior. And so Mudryk apparently was in a Planet Fitness gym, which for those of you who are not aware, Planet Fitness is like a very low budget end gym.
It's a gym franchise basically.
International superstar at. But a man was on there working with a trainer, and his shorts were coming down, and so his bottom was exposed. Mudryk, instead of saying anything to the guy, whatever else, decided to film it and put it out for all his followers to see, and he was called out for that.
Well, I was saying, I would say, but that
Before you decide to go and work on your shooting and try and score some goals for your side, how you doing?
You're not Jim.
Now just spend $100 million on you to the way.
Yeah, but I think tomorrow we definitely need to go for the jugular. We need to finish that. We need to make sure we secure top 4. We're not leaving anything for Sunday.
Convincingly.
Sunday is about enjoying for you out a couple of the youth players. Palestri, Iqbal, let some of them get some runs, and then if we win, we finish third. If we don't win, we whatever happens, but we finish in top 4 tomorrow. So that has to be a done deal. And then you start preparing for the FA Cup.
Let's be honest. This is one of those games where we can't leave anything to chance.
But before we get back into Chelsea, I just want to address this question from Mr. Martin Phillip. He's asking, if United is not sold before September 1st, will Ten Hag get the 200 million, I'm going to assume he meant pound, Katie, to make his transfers?
No.
Well, I guess it depends on who he gets sold to, because remember, he has people on the transfer list that he could make that money with as well too.
I'm glad he asked that question, because this morning I read a report where the decision will be made by Friday, if not Saturday, right? And I think that whatever happens tomorrow has an effect on the decision being made Friday or Saturday.
Yeah,
right?
so I think I think the decision is made already, right? I think what they're gonna ride on is the wave. If United
I have a question to ask now. Suppose we wake up tomorrow on Friday morning and we hear Ratcliffe gain control.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
So, all right, let me just say this, right? Now, first of all, just to finish off on the point I was raising earlier, right? Chelsea coming to be spoilers. We need to win the game, but not by a 1-0 margin. We have to at least have at least two or three goals in the bag, right? But if Friday the sale does not go the Qatari way, but goes, I can never pronounce that word, right? I think it's Ratcliffe or whatever, right?
Yeah, Ratcliffe.
So be it. So be it. But if it is the Ratcliffe and it happen, we have to ensure that that new owner allow our manager open the hand, and then we buy some goal scorers, some attacking players, and then we get some more silverware than just hoping to win a Carabao Cup next season.
Let me interject. I really don't believe it is Ratcliffe. Here's my reason why. The whole fan base know Ratcliffe wanna keeps the Glazers on. Anytime the name Ratcliffe as the winner or the better they choose, you see that FA Cup final, it wouldn't be madness.
It might even play.
It would be the highlight of the biggest protest that would ever think, and this is what the Glazers wouldn't want.
Yeah, and I think even if Ratcliffe comes in, even if they select Ratcliffe, right? I mean, the Glazers, they don't care. They don't care. So if Ratcliffe comes in and then the fans protest at that FA Cup final, the message will be clear to Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
We need to open up the checklist. Whatever it is, we need to get certain players in. And if those players don't come in and the manager isn't back, the fan base is going to turn on you, just like they turn on you.
Prime example, look what happened to Nice, the other club he owned. They protested left, right.
Yeah, their captain, Dante, even came out and warned United fans about how he is.
Hey, Dante, I like.
But I do want to drag us back into our main topic now, which is a Chelsea match tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, we're going to ask right now this question. We go through what lineup would you all like to see tomorrow now? So I heard somebody in the chat earlier say that they want the FA Cup lineup for tomorrow. I haven't heard anything else right now, but we'll start with the formation first. What formation is everybody thinking that we'll have tomorrow?
Same one we went with in the last game.
The same one. The Ten Hag formation is 4-2-3-1. That's every manager's.
All right, so we'll start with 4-2-3-1. All right, so we'll start with all right, I'll ask a question. Anybody have any issues with De Gea in goal?
Hell no.
We're gonna play again, right?
We're
We're gonna play again. We're gonna play again.
Like I said, did anybody have any issues with that? So I take that as a
No.
All right, so we will move on right now.
You asking answers, Devin. You're asking answers.
All right. Well, so we'll go with this right now. I don't see anybody having. All right. Are there any positions right now that you think that could be up for debate? But let me ask that way.
All right.
Sancho.
Ericsson
Position.
I would start Ericsson in the position he normally starts, right? But if push come to shove and we get overrun, I would switch Ericsson and Bruno position. Bruno at a deeper role is as dangerous to me.
Our back line is staying the same. Let's just clarify for anybody watching right now.
Wan-Bissaka, of course.
Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Varane, and Lindelof.
Yeah.
We have to have. I would personally like to start 4-5-1. If Rashford is fit, have him as the lone striker. 4-5-1. Go back to the
Brian. We'll get to that. We'll get to the top up front. We're starting from the back, working our way up.
Well, the back
so we got our defenders set. Everybody's in agreement with
that. Yeah. So comfortable with our back.
Holding midfielders. Who are our two holding midfielders going to be?
Well, obviously Casemiro, of course.
Obviously.
Right. I would say Ericsson. I would say put Ericsson with Casemiro. Right. Bruno, of course, and with them.
Anybody have any debates with Bruno?
Well, not for Bruno specifically. I think we'll get to that now. Our who are we playing on the left? Who are we playing on the right? Yeah, I think if he goes with the FA Cup team tomorrow, I think it could be Casemiro and Fred. So because remember how he dealt with Man City in the last game that we won. He had Fred man marking De Bruyne. So if tomorrow is a trial run for that FA Cup team, then it could be Fred and Casemiro at the holding position.
But Chelsea, it would be a trial run for that. Remember, Chelsea and City don't play the same way.
That is very true as well. And with that being said, if you play that, who would Fred be in charge of man marking?
Exactly. The only player could be Enzo, right? So there's no other creative player.
Yeah.
There's no other creator right now. Chelsea just look like a mess. So Enzo's the only potential player that he can mark.
Yeah, if they keep playing out of position, he's not so straight. How about me? I'm out to the team.
There seems to be a little bit of a debate here now about who will be the holding midfielder beside Casemiro. So we'll leave it to the panel because I've heard Ericsson, I've heard Fred. So as a panel, we have to come up with a collective as a group what we all could agree on for this.
I'll have it with Fred because Fred can handle the physicality a bit more.
Yeah, but sometimes Fred was very timeish. 1 minute you have the Fred who is the Brazilian, and then you have Fred who is the most un-Brazilian Brazilian. No, come on, let's be real, guys. I still say put Ericsson in there with Casemiro. Let Casemiro handle Kevin De Bruyne, right? Let Casemiro deal with him.
No, we're not talking about the final
I starting Ericsson, but like I say, if push come to shove and we see that we midfield getting overrun, switch Ericsson and Bruno position.
I agree with that.
Okay.
And let Bruno come from deeper.
Yeah.
So we're saying. So we're all, as a collective, we're saying Casemiro and Ericsson for our two holding midfielders.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Bruno as the attacking midfielder. So what are we doing about the left and the right? We still have not come to a consensus on that one.
But I think for the left and the right, okay, Anthony. Yeah. And I'm sorry, put Sancho. You have to put Sancho as get in the game and get in the game, right? And if we have to switch, if we have to bring in somebody, obviously it's good. Garnacho has to come in, right? But Sancho has to get in the game. And if Sancho can't get in the game, then get out. As harsh
I would have do it the other way around, Brad. I was going with Garnacho. Let Garnacho run off that wing back sock. And then when they bring Sancho, you have more space and time to get in the game. That's just my thought on it.
To be fair, Mark, to be fair, Garnacho works better coming off the bench because he's more of an impact sub. You'll have him coming there when those players are tired, and he'll be able to run at them harder.
Yeah.
To me, it's
True.
Anthony and Rashford. Garnacho come on. Eventually, with Rashford pushing on top and replacing Martial. Martial is starting as striker, no doubt about that.
Well,
Yeah.
So basically, it's the end of the road for Anthony Martial when we see or not.
Yeah. Garnacho is going to start on Sunday against Fulham.
I think based on Martial's reaction at that Bournemouth game, that's the last we've seen of Martial.
I agree.
That's the last.
Sorry.
Could be, yeah.
He's not gonna get. I don't see him get into a Ten Hag team for the rest of the season. He's going.
Well, when we see that team tomorrow, we go definitely know that for sure, right? But Ten Hag has hinted.
Mark will say I'm biased for when I make this statement. Mark will say I'm biased when I make this statement. But look, you can't be getting on something and Weghorst out running here.
Right? Ten Hag openly said in his interview today, the team is better with Martial in it.
Well,
Does Martial know that though? Does Martial know that though?
We need to remember up to the couple days before Ronaldo left the club, Ten Hag was saying that the team was better with Ronaldo in the team. So when he has to deal with this,
is there anything to go by?
Remember how good when everybody's fit, how good and how fluid the football looks when you have Martial, Rashford, and Sancho out there together.
Yeah.
It was looking good in the preseason.
Yeah,
Martial,
and then Martial became Martial.
And then,
so,
Martial is for a hat-trick tomorrow and a hat-trick in the FA Cup final. He will still be shown the door.
Yeah. but Martial as a striker, he has one of the best close control dribbling in the Premiership as a striker. So the pity is he hasn't been able to convert those to goals, and he hasn't been able to see the best of them.
Just give Martial about 6 Red Bull to drink tomorrow. Because my God.
I think that was the Martial of maybe 3 seasons ago, right? Of having the crisp relationship with the football on his foot. Even Peter Jury said he has that. But the Martial of now is nothing more than a little cranky little child that the minute you take him off, he vex. But you ain't doing nothing. You ain't running for the ball. You ain't chasing for the ball. You ain't getting the ball. You just waiting for the. I'm over here. This is a man who says you even speak English, right? But I'm here. Pass the ball. And when they pass the ball, I have the ball now. What to do now? Put it in the man in net. Or should I dribble? Or should I just stand here and look stupid? Guess what? Guess which one of the 3 he does? Stand here and look stupid. Right? No.
So before I move on to the next segment, we have to come up as a collective with who's going to be our wing, who's going to be on our wings, and who's going to be up top. So what are we thinking as a panel collectively?
Yeah, I think if Martial gets game, then Martial starts. I mean, if Rashford starts on your left, and I think Sancho on your right, and then you make Anthony and Garnacho the impact play.
I would have to agree with that one personally.
I personally would like to see Rashford as a striker, because Rashford is a striker as well.
Rashford when we tried it before, it has not worked, and he's always played his best coming in off the left.
Well,
yeah.
But then again, if it is so, I would put Weghorst and put.
Hey.
I would.
Greg, you see your cousin?
Well,
you see your cousin, Greg?
It's not my fault. It's not my fault that the man didn't just trigger you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, sorry, Chelsea's right. Chelsea's right is weak, right? So.
Say that again, Eric.
So Chelsea's right back is out. So James is out. So we have to attack. We have to attack their right or left. And I think Martial is much better. Rashford is much better doing it.
You better. Come on, go on.
Well, fellas, I have to tell you, right, is that if that is how it has to be, well then fine, come. But at the end of the day, we need to have a striker who could put the ball behind the net. And I'm sorry, Martial is just not doing it. I'd rather we could take some young boy and throw him in and say, hey, try, right? That a man who just sits there and pass me the ball. I'm waiting for the ball. Pass the ball. And when you get the ball, you look like, okay, what do I do? Huh? No. Where is it?
That has got to be the worst projection I've ever heard.
One of the highlights for me after this end of the season is I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna do with Mason Greenwood.
That is what I want to see too.
Yeah.
Oh, that is what I want to see.
I want to introduce a special guest. He loves Manchester United.
You sure? I'm looking like an Arsenal supporter.
Yeah. Looking like working Butlers FC.
Well, gentlemen, I guess we really couldn't come to a consensus on a front three, but we do have to move on to our second to last segment of the evening, and that will be the memes of the week. And so we got a couple good ones for this week. I want to start with this one first right now, which could perfectly describe how the title race went this season.
That will never get old.
Arsenal have been in the lead for longer than any other side to finish second, over 200 days in the lead.
240.
240.
You've seen some people online saying that because they were in the league for so long, they should have had the title given to them because of that. But anyway, I know for some it never gets old just sitting there laughing at Arsenal jokes. Gentlemen, what say you? Describe this one. What are your thoughts about this one?
Arsenal was on top of the league since preseason.
Yeah.
When the table start, when the season start and they show the table, who does be on top?
Arsenal.
Actually, Mark, is that actually Bournemouth was on top this time? Because remember, they AFC Bournemouth officially on the
Okay, what before that? It used to be Arsenal. Well, Arsenal on top this in preseason.
Technical, okay, Mr. Technical, Greg, okay.
And then remember Sesame Street with the amazing Mumford?
Yeah.
When he go up on top of the pillar and yank the pillar away. When Grover was flicking Man City, then he yanked the pillar away. And Arsenal come tumbling down. Yeah. It's the worst I've ever seen. It's the worst.
I am not surprised what has happened to Arsenal. I told everybody Arsenal not winning this
Nobody
league.
was.
Lives up.
Nobody was. The only people surprised were Arsenal supporters.
Because it's
all right, gents. Well, I gotta make sure we get into the next one right now. And unless you've had your head under a rock for the last couple of days, I don't think this next meme needs any explaining at all.
This one is a serious one.
Yeah.
This one.
I'm sorry, but gentlemen, as much as that is what it is, I am a lawyer and I'm an intellectual property lawyer. That is IP infringement. So whoever did that, I hope they don't come after us.
This meme is not the property of the United Hour affiliated with us in any way, shape, or form. This is something that we pull from the internet right now for memes of the week.
Yeah. Just put out
Brian, were you not just getting on Greg about being Mr. Technical? And look at you now, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Hello.
I'm glad somebody picked up on it.
It is my job to protect my club and my teammates.
We didn't blame it.
So, yes, obviously,
that one is a serious one. That one very serious.
But it's also it highlights something which people have spoken about for a while. There's all these different organizations right now talking about you have Kick It Out in the UK. You have these different ones that try to showcase there's no room for racism anywhere, but yet it continues to happen. We continue to hear about it. People speak about it. It goes in the news for a little while, and then it disappears, and then it just happens again. It's like a cycle that's repeating over and over again.
Yeah, but Devin, here's the thing that really bothers me about this whole Vinicius situation too, is the fact that the president of the Spanish FA is somehow trying to stick this on Vinicius. That is the problem I have.
If you are apology,
he literally have to stand in the style, listen to people make those chats at him. When he pointed it out, he was told that he needed to go back and do it, and he got sent off. What? Where's the logic? Where's the logic in that whole situation at all?
Agreed.
But this afternoon, I saw that the president issued an apology for what he said.
After high pressure.
After the light the fire underneath him, he had to come out and apologize. Yeah, son. That was totally disgusting.
That still doesn't alleviate the fact that what he speak, what is in his heart.
Correct.
Exactly.
I totally
exactly.
It was totally disgusting. It was totally terrible. Now you talk about the English League, Devin. Let me tell you something. The English League, the EPL, and the FA, they crack down harder than any other league.
Exactly.
Right? Because let me tell you, if you would recall, when we had the game against City, when the City fans was doing monkey songs to one of our players, and the camera pick up the fella. And what's the first thing they do? They put him on the big screen. Say, hey, there you are. And what they do? They take him, they carry him out. You think they only escort you out the field? No. Under the Human Rights Act of England, 1998, all of that is breaches under the HRA as well. So what? I'm teaching all some law here today. And what they did to that fella is he appeared before the Manchester Magistrates Court the next morning, for breach of racism, right? So I have to say that, and England has worked hard on stamping out that racism in football. They've worked hard on it. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen still. It does. But the English League can always tip their hat and say, we have led the way in fighting against racism. In Spain, I can tell you from colleagues who I know who lived in Spain for a while, right, before coming back to Trinidad to practice law. Racism in Spain is very entrenched in Spanish history and Spanish life, right? For many reasons, which I think we'll take up the show if I go into that. But just to finish off the point, is that La Liga president had to retract his words because it took the Brazilian president to speak out. It took Conembol, here the region, Conembol to come out and speak. Argentine Football Federation spoke out against it as well. Believe it.
Yeah.
That was it. Worldwide pressure.
You come and apologize after.
Yeah, he had to apologize. But not only that, FIFA, because Conembol president went to FIFA and said, listen, one of my region members was treated like that from a president of a football league. No, sir. We're not taking that. Right? Because Conembol made it quite clear that if that is not dealt with, they will deal with it at the FIFA general meeting. Because the La Liga president is also part of UEFA, in case people don't know. He's secretary member of UEFA, you know. So they will wait for him in that meeting and say, hey, you're in we territory now, right? So just to close the point, Devin, is that the French league spoke out against it as well. Leo Messi spoke out against it as well because Lionel Messi made it quite clear that he said when he was in Spain, he never accepted such type of behavior. And I think what was done to Vinicius as well by giving him the red card. If I was Vinicius, maybe I'm maybe thinking a little ignorant here, and I'll close with this point. If I was like, give me a red card, no problem. And I walk up in the fans, I say, right, I get red carded. Which one of all you want to tell me something now? Right?
I think the whole Real Madrid team should have walked off with him.
Should have walked off the pitch, yeah.
Correct.
And let's take a Carlo Ancelotti.
Stand up solidarity.
Yeah. It's not the first time. We saw what happened with Balotelli in Italy. With Balotelli.
Yeah. The thing is, it wasn't 2 or 3 people, you know. It was a whole section.
Yeah.
Yep.
The whole team should have walked off with him.
And if you also support base, Valencia has one of the most racist fan base it have, right? And every league there's one. Even in England they have them, right? Yeah. And I thought that Ancelotti should have taken his boys off the field, right? I really thought he should have, because they saw where Courtois said that if he walked off, he was going to walk with him. But the man got a red card, all that should have go, but it didn't happen, right? You have to use Balotelli as an example. When Balotelli was but when they was
don't forget Lukaku too.
I remember Balotelli in Italy. Just this season, I tell him, man, that I say, at that time, Balotelli.
And also, Moise Keane got it as well too.
I can give you one better. Kevin Prince Boateng.
All right. Francesco Totti pick up Balotelli by the corner flag and just walk over the field after. And the way his goals was, it have no black Italian. You understand? I don't know if I can remember that, but I remember that clearly.
I thought Totti was in support of him, because Totti made it quite clear. If you remember the Italian game where he scored a goal for Italy, and there's a group in Italy called the fascist group, and they started to do the Hitler sign to Balotelli, and Totti was standing him. Totti took off the captain armband and threw it at them. He made it quite clear that fascism could never come in Italy again. Because if people know the history of Italy, the fascists who was with Hitler and all of them, whose name is escaping me right, Mussolini. And Totti's father was killed by the fascists, right? So that's why Totti will never them, right? So I mean, it is.
I think I read that the ref for that Real Madrid Valencia game is either he got demoted or fired.
Him and 6 others got fired.
And I personally think that any team that plays Valencia, whether outside of Spain or in Spain, they should not walk on the field.
Let's face it. What needs to happen from here on in? What needs to happen from here on is that a lot of these teams, whatever their fan bases get out of hand, let them understand that there are serious consequences. If it has to go as far as not just fines, points deductions, and if it gets to that point, ban the teams from having their supporters come into the stadium as well too. When they realize that those measures are being taken and it affects the progress of the team, then you'll see these fans behave.
You see, Greg, the issue with that is that there's too much money involved, right? So when you have an empty stadium, that's a substantial.
Well, they need to understand that has to happen if they don't want to lose the money in the first place. Remember, the clubs are trying to make a profit, right? So when it starts to affect the club's pockets, then they realize, all right, you know what? I gotta take this seriously now.
No, it's true. I agree. Because, I mean, look at France. Let's remember what happened in France when there was racism in football in France. And it took a man who was Zidane to make it quite clear that, first of all, he said, I'm not born in France, right? And he said if that is done to him, because they made bad things towards Zidane because he was an immigrant. And he told him, he said,
Yeah,
listen,
I think he's Algerian, I think initially.
Yeah, from Algeria.
and you know what Zidane told fans? He said, listen, 99.9% of France football team is immigrants.
Exactly.
I said, if you want, we'll all walk off the field now. I know he said, the only person that remain on the field is Hugo Lloris.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only original Frenchman.
That's very true.
Racism
Well,
is
gentlemen, it
And then
definitely
you
has been
even go back,
a
you even
great
go back to
show.
the point where when Chelsea and PSG played in the Champions League as well too. Sorry about that. That when the Chelsea fans pushed the black man off the subway, and they started chanting we're racist, and nothing really like it. I was like, what are we doing?
Well, gentlemen, it definitely has been a great show. The message is clear. There is no room for racism, but it's still not
None.
working. It's still not working, and more needs to be done about that.
Exactly.
So, Mark, Cass, Greg, Arun, Brian, thank you so much for coming on. And I know that we are all in unison when we're saying this right now. Racism has no place in society today at all.
my brother.
None.
To say it like this to you, that in Trinidad and Tobago, we are the land that we should emulate. People should emulate. That we are a land of national unity. That we are a land of people who can come together where the Ganges can meet the Nile. And we can all be one nation, one people. And we must tell them that Trinidad and Tobago is a nation to follow.
For real.
Yeah, agreed.
I should have said that with a yellow jersey on.
My goodness. My goodness.
You're doing good, eh? You're doing good, eh?
You're just spoiling
Wondering.
What was
But,
that, David?
gentlemen, I said, Brian, when you planning on running for prime minister now?
Well,
Let me have that discussion after the show now.
Correct. But yeah, it's a bit. So it's like I always say, we keep that red flag flying high, because Man United will never die. This is the United Hour.